hence why I'm using the black screen, because I'm not going to be looking. So if you comment, I love you, and I cannot read what you're saying right now. In any case, I've been thinking about, for a few days, talking about how you can get messages from spirit, how you can get messages from your DM, your DF, whoever, as often as you want. You can get confirmation of things as often as you want. You can get information about things as often as you want. And more often than not, things will happen like when I'm delivering, I'm door dashing. It's actually one of my favorite reasons for for doing such a job, because I get to be out and about, and there's no better way in many forms than to get synchronicities than to be out and about, driving past things, seeing how things change, seeing what ends up in front of you. Now, what just happened was I was at a stop sign and a car got in front of me, and it's a new car, and on the back of the car was one of those permits that lets you, it says how many days until the permit is up, so you can drive without, a license plate to get it. And it said August 13th, 2021, right? And when I saw that, I was thinking, oh, yeah, cool. Like, I know that there's an important date that is near that, so it's not only significant to me because of where it's at, but it also tells me that something significant will happen on that date. Now, I was not in particular thinking about, like, my DM or anything like that. It is a date that is close to a date that would be meaningful for my DM and I. But I know that the main message simply is that Spirit wanted me to see that date, right? It wanted me to see there's something significant that's going to happen, either for me personally or someone I know or collectively on August 13th. You might even go look it up. I haven't had a chance to. You might go look it up and see maybe there's a full moon or new moon or some sort of really crazy cool alignment. You don't know. But when you see something like that, you might mark it down in your journal. Go, okay, August 13th came in front of me. I don't know if it'll mean nothing or if it'll mean everything, but it was put in front of me, and I'm going to take note on it, right? Now, the same thing can happen if you want to ask her a message I would say start with asking for messages from Spirit. Yeah, you can ask for messages from your DM, but you probably already know what's going on with your DM, Now, if I was to do that, let's just try this on right here, right? It's funny, I was already thinking about it, like, what's the next step? And I just saw a sign that said the word historic, and that reminds me of something that a different reader, I like to listen to him every once in a while, his name's Sal, and he does Eat, Pray, Love, and he was talking about, or no, excuse me, it's funny, it wasn't in his reading, it was in a show, Once Upon a Time, and it's where Rumpelstiltskin talked about having history with somebody both in the past and in the future, right? Now I see a sign that says Angel of the Winds, right? And I've been seeing a lot of angel synchronicities later, right? So if I look at that and I think about, okay, we've got the word history is coming up a lot. We've got the word angel is coming up a lot. And there's been a song that's been coming up. It's funny, it pops in at the most unexpected moments. It's always pleasant, but it's a song called She Talks to Angels, right? Now, I'm passing by a farm that's talking about things being ripe and ready to pick up. And I know if any of you listen to some of my previous talks or readings, I talked about the Nine of Pentacles and how it talks about ripeness, right? So the more times that I can be out on deliveries and that I pass by farms that talk about having ripe fruits or things ready for harvest, that can be a synchronicity back to things are ripening, right? So the message there could be to think about, oh yeah, see, I'm getting a lot of Kundalini energy on this, is that the history is there. I have much history in the past and in the future. And, and in particular, I was thinking about my DM and my family and me. And so it's kind of one of those, you got history, angel, ripeness, right? There's a message right there. And you can, only you are going to know what that means for you. For me, it means we've got a lot of history in the past and in the future. And it means that, benevolent angels and guides and ancestors and totems are on, they're on the job. And it means just let it ripen. Just let things ripen. Let the scenario play out the way that it's playing. And then I just passed by, looked like a corn maze and a pumpkin farm, right? It could be that, things will be ripened around September, October, which makes sense. That is a natural, energetic ripening time when things are harvested, right? You can see a street sign that says 59th, 5 and 9 equals 14. We get to temperance, alchemy, right? And here's the thing, there's lots of signs around me. I'm not picking out every single one of them that, it's like, oh, there's that and that and that and that. In fact, here's one. There's an RV that I just passed, and it says Pace Arrow. Now, that wouldn't be significant to me, except for there was an important movie that came up for me. You might like it. It's called Crooked Arrows, and it's actually about the history of lacrosse and some very, very cool indigenous teachings. But that's not the only thing. Just before I was doing this video, when I was picking up an order, an RV was on my left, and it was also an arrow. It wasn't a pace arrow, but it was an arrow. That also reminded me of Crooked Arrows. And even more significant, a sign that Spirit made sure that I saw, is the back tire cover said, "Not all who wander are lost." And that's very significant to me. For one, it's an Alice in Wonderland a quote, sort of. And that relates back to the original Embrace the Absurd journey that I started on this channel when the mission of separation began, right? The other thing is, it leads back to some of the talks that I've been talking about with this energy of the badge of shame kind of stuff and the mark of the wanderer, right? And so, like, Spirit is showing me that stuff. And it may be that there's something significant in it that's like, I have some theories on like what it means and what's coming up, but I have not fully put all the pieces together, and I've already learned not to force the pieces to come together. Like, I don't need to. I know that when I need to know, I will be shown. And so I just take note of it. Okay, there's a flag next to me that has a picture of a train on it. And yesterday I decided to try to go line dancing to, just get myself out exercising and socializing and stuff. And I didn't realize, but the bar had a theme of like old westerns and had trains all over it. Trains are very significant to my sons, who I share with my DM, and very significant to him, right? And then all the songs that played, at least the first 6 were ones that I didn't pick and that were specifically picked by the line dance leader, and they were all significant to different parts of the story of us, right? And those are things that I like, synchronicities like that the most, because they're not ones we're expecting, and they're not ones that we're calling in. See, now just ahead of me there's another RV, and here's the funny thing, like, there's all sorts of things that can be around us all the time, and we just don't notice it. Or it can be that, like, this is a perfect season in terms of people having RVs, especially in the area that I'm in, though I'm not often called to the attention of them, right? Or rather, they're not usually placed so prominently in front of me. And so I know that if they're being put in my path, if I'm heading forward or they're behind me, that they might be significant. RVs in particular are significant to my journey. See what I mean? Like, look at what is the sign and what does it mean to you. I can look at a sign in front of me. There's one here. It says motorcycles use extreme caution. Now, that could be a synchronicity to me, though I don't feel a really big pull to it other than motorcycles are significant, but I just don't feel like that particular sign right now is anything in particular to me. I'm pulling up to a stop sign. That sign doesn't have a particular pull to me. It just doesn't, wow, okay, I'm delivering stuff in an area where it looks like they're doing some kind of street fair, and I didn't know that they were doing a street fair out here. You see how things like that can work? When, I just decided I was going to go to work. Now I may go and check out something, the street fair going on. Passing by a place called Glory Busha. It looks like a kombucha place, but glory is a very specific word, especially in terms of what I've been kind of preaching about in terms of let Spirit show you off, right? You can see a truck next to me that's got a very prominent ram symbol sticking out the top of it. Aries, very significant to me. Might be significant to you. You don't know, right? But like, I can look around and see all sorts of stuff. Like, my DM really, really likes classic cars, but every classic car I see is not necessarily for me a synchronicity with him. I can see a Volvo to the right. That's much more likely to be a synchronicity with my dad. You know, I can see a Cougar to the left. That's much more likely to be a synchronicity with my cousins, if at all, you know. And for me, it really depends on what it is you're trying to manifest and what it is you're trying to grow, you know. So there's this bumper sticker that says "I love rodeo," and I've been hearing the radio talking about the King County Fair and bringing back the rodeo and stuff. I've also been seeing the word radio, and it links me back. Oh, there's another sticker that says, "What a long, strange trip it's been." See how that could fit in with "Not all those who wander are lost," right? Or that bumper sticker could be a synchronicity coming from my DM. Now there's a sticker on another truck that's from the California Angels team, right? Angels, again, you see how many, like, this is why I wanted to do this while I was delivering a little bit, so that, you know, like, this is another important reason, too, get yourself out of the house. Oh, wow, man, there's this really, really, really nice, what is it, 68 Corvette, and that is me through and through, not my DM, but I know that they typically manifest in my environment when I am, oh, it looks like all the things closed up. They typically manifest in my environment when I'm in a good vibration, when I'm on my high flying disc, or I'm in manifesting space, whatever you want to call it. Like, those tend to show up when I'm in a good space, when I'm doing my work good. You know, see, now there's passing by a sign that says, "Yes, we are open." And it's not that that's necessarily significant to something else going on, but it could be significant to what I'm thinking right now about, you know, my vibration is in a good place. Yes, we are open, right? So it could be like, "Yes, you are open." Now I'm seeing a sign that says "Unique Interiors." Could you think about how that could relate to things? Like me being in a good vibration, me being, you know, paying attention to stuff that's going on, me talking with you about all this stuff going on. Could you see how that could lead to, you know, to unique interiors, as in, like, your interior, as in, you know, oh man. I wonder if this street fair is going to be going on for long. It looks like they're closed up for the day, and I had no idea they were going on. You see stuff like that happening too. Is like, you might run across things, and there's a license plate 6664, right? What's 6 times 3? 18. The moon. Confusion, right? And I'm sitting here going, what? There's a street fair I didn't know about, and it looks like it's closing up, and I wouldn't have minded being able to go to it, but I have no idea if it's now or later, or if I was just supposed to see it, or if I'm supposed to go to it, or what. Like, I might get out and walk around and just see what's going on with it. But the main thing is that you see how the number 666, 18, fits with the feeling that I'm in. 18, confusion. I have faith that there's something about it. I don't know whether I'm supposed to deliver around it. I don't know if I'm supposed to walk through it and check it out. I don't know if I'm just supposed to look it up and come back later. I don't know. You see that? But I have faith that there's something important about it. There's something important in talking about it to you. There's something important in the fact that my delivering brought me out this way. Brought me to this point to where I could talk about it and show you guys in this moment, you know, what's going on, right? In any case, I'm going to leave this here. I do intend to teach more stuff on synchronicity, but I hope that you'll take a minute, you know, and like, maybe go for a walk and just talk with spirit. Be like, you know, show me something that's synchronistic with how I'm feeling right now, and look for it, you know, or please bring me a message from my DM and see what the message is, see how it might relate, things like that. You know, give it a try. Maybe come back to the comments so other people could see they're not alone in trying it out too. All right, thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.